and welcome to my channel. My name is Jazzy RN, and I'm going to show you 3 steps I would use to optimize my resume to get a remote job in 2026. So I'm going to show you this job that I found on CVS Health, with CVS Health on LinkedIn. So this is with CVS Health. The job title is Utilization Management Nurse Consultant. And the position summary is here, these bullets. This utilizes clinical experience and skills in a collaborative process to assess, plan, implement, etc. So this is basically what the job entails. So what you want to do as a bedside nurse is to change your resume to where it basically mimics the job that you want. So I'm going to show you my resume that I have for a bedside nurse. At the very top of this page, you want to have your name, the city and state and zip code. The entire address is not needed. A professional email address, personal email address, as well as your phone number. Next, I have my education listed, and then after that, professional experience. Now, as you can see here, I have this professional experience and education in bold, the name of the university in bold, and then the position that I have in the hospital as a nurse in bold and italicized. Now, however you prefer to format your resume, it's fine. Just make sure that you keep it to where it's easy to understand. And you want to focus on the 3 main objectives is what you did, why it's important, and how it relates to the job that you want. So this job that I had was with a long-term acute care facility, and most patients were on a ventilator, comatose, tube feeding, etc. So I want to edit this resume to where it looks more like it's mimicking the job description that I want. So I'm going to scroll down and show you what I came up with. And minimize the screen. And this one as well. Bring this over. Okay, so as you can see here, this very first bullet where it says utilizing clinical experience and skills in a collaborative process to assess, plan, implement, coordinate, etc. So I edited my resume to use some of the exact same wording. So I put utilizes clinical and nursing experience and skills to assess, plan, implement, coordinate, monitor, and evaluate proper patient care. Now, I didn't use every single bullet point on this job description. And the next one is communicates with providers and other parties to facilitate care or treatment. And my resume has communicates with providers and patients to facilitate care or treatment. So as you can see, this is how I've mimicked my resume to mimic the job description on the job for CVS. I also added one more thing, which is platforms used, which is important. I added Epic, Cerner, ProTouch, Meditech. This basically depends on what hospital you work for, what platform they actually use. Many hospitals actually use Epic. Some use Cerner. Very few use ProTouch, Meditech. But make sure you use platforms used. And I also would say include Microsoft Office, because all of the insurance companies do use Microsoft Office. I also want to include that whenever you are creating a resume for this new position that you want as a utilization management nurse, make sure you do some research as well as what utilization management is. So for example, let's say a patient goes into the hospital, their diagnosis is bowel obstruction. And utilization review nurses use either MCG or Interqual. So I use Interqual. I've used that more often than MCG. Let's say the criteria for this patient's inpatient stay to be approved by their insurance company for a bowel obstruction, there are 3 criteria that must be met. So one is, let's say the patient must have a CT scan that confirms that he or she does have a bowel obstruction. 2, the patient must have, let's say, have an NG tube to suction and be NPO Those two options must be on the patient's clinicals. And 3, the patient must have IV fluids at, let's say, at least 100 cc's an hour. Now, whenever a patient does go to the hospital, the insurance company is alerted, and the insurance company is supposed to provide the clinicals of the patient's admission. That way, the insurance company knows that they can use the criteria, which is Interqual or MCG, to confirm that he or she does meet medical necessity. So let's say the patient does come into the hospital, and this patient does have a CT scan that does confirm that he or she has a bowel obstruction, and let's say he or she does not have an NG tube placed because maybe it wouldn't go in, or he or she refused it, but he or she is NPO and has IV fluids at 100 cc's an hour. Because he or she does not have that NG tube placed, then the insurance company nurse, which is you, as you're reviewing it through Interqual, you cannot approve it through Interqual. You can't approve the authorization because it doesn't meet all this checklist, all this on the criteria for Interqual. So you as a nurse will send this information to the MD, and the MD will make a decision on whether to approve or deny it. So that's basically, in a nutshell, what utilization management is. If you have any additional questions, please comment below.